you see in the background here is work that's continuing from a construction perspective. The amphitheater will be behind us, so what we're standing now is the balcony of our tasting room. And hopefully one of you guys, girls, will be sitting up here enjoying one of our shows here in the not too distant future. I think for our purposes, the amphitheater is going to be done in May or June of this year, and hopefully having a lot of artists come out and entertain our guests here on campus. As part of that, this tasting room will be open, we think, by the end of March. Knock on a lot of wood here that that's going to be the case. But again, that tasting room has a 50-gallon hybrid pot still that hopefully our guests will enjoy one of these days and making their own bourbon barrels. But it will allow us to really experiment on our mash bills for the near distant future before a distillery is built. But you know, I think for us and for the Dant family in general, this is a big day for us to be able to have you guys out, be able to see what we've got going on, and be able to experience ultimately what this place is going to be for you and our guests. So when we open the tasting room, our spirits will be released then. So as many of all these distillers do, we do source our bourbon and our gin products. So they're using some of it where we've actually, particularly the gins, have our own recipes that we're doing on the gin, because you can do those really quickly and not have to age them. For our Monk's Road series, we're calling our first series is called the Log Distillery series, which pays homage to this area, which, you know, pre-prohibition had about 11 distilleries here that are all now closed. But we're calling each one of those limited series releases one of those distilleries. So our first one will be called Cold Spring, which was located across the street. And that'll be a 6-year-old bourbon that we have sourced here locally. And we're pretty proud of what that tastes like, and we'll be proud to put it in people's hands. So that'll be literally when we open this tasting room building, it'll be there on the shelf for purchase. We are working with our distributor now in Kentucky to make sure that those products are going to be available to all Kentuckians at the same time. And so with that, throughout the next really 4 years, we'll have our products that will be released during that time. But we aren't going to release anything that's less than 4 years old. So we want to be upfront and honest about that. The Dant family's been known for a high rye bourbon. You can expect to see that come out of our plant in particular, and it'll be at least 4 years old before we release it. So a lot of work's been going into this. We're happy to talk about our mash bills at some point in time once we get them all kind of perfected. But those will be really kind of first products.
And you have a Tennessee whiskey coming out.
We do. We have 2 of them coming out. One is an 8-year-old Tennessee whiskey that we're pretty happy about, called Rattle and Snap, and that'll be so we got the Monk's Road brand, and we got the Rattle and Snap brand. That Rattle and Snap brand is really representative of us being able to have some fun and bring people into the bourbon and whiskey tasting world that maybe haven't been there before. So you'll see some introductory spirits that might be some flavored, that would be a gateway for ultimately to turn you into a real bourbon and a real whiskey drinker over the course of time. And then we are going to have our 8-year-old Tennessee whiskey and a 4-year-old Tennessee whiskey. That'll be our staple Rattle and Snap brands, and those will be available for purchase again at the same time we're opening with this. So again, around that end of March timeframe.